What's going on, men? Welcome back to the Sacred Men YouTube channel. This is Pastor Justin Dean, and I've got a pretty simple concept to push your way this week. It's something that I mentioned in my sermon at Sacred City Church this past Sunday. And it's this idea that there's only three types of people in the world. There's builders, there's consumers, and there's destroyers. And I want to build that out just a little bit and then show us how we can move into becoming the type of men who build things, who create good things for the good of our people, for the good of ourself, and also for the good of our community and the good of the world. But before I do that, looking at some statistics last year, this channel is less than a year old, and we had over 10,000 views last year, which is pretty exciting. I can't believe it. Over half of the people that watch the channel aren't subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, come on, man, do me a favor and subscribe down below. Give me a like. That helps other people find us, the whole algorithm and all of that fun stuff. But really thrilled with what God's done so far and what we're building here at Sacred Men. And this channel exists to build godly, virtuous men in a degenerate culture, a culture that only knows how to tear things down. And that kind of leads me to our topic of the day: builders, consumers, and destroyers. So here's the idea. Builders build. They create things. They add value. They walk into a room, and we've already talked about having gravitas, of being a person that carries weight and responsibility. They're a virtuous person, and they can kind of command a room. They have a gravity about them that pulls others into their orbit. And if you're a godly man with gravitas, you're pulling others towards God, right? Towards Jesus. And you're moving them and all the people around you into the orbit of Christianity, right? And that's what we all want to do. But builders, they know how to add value. If you put them in a business setting, they're going to be there to build things, to build up other people, to build up the organization, to get success, right? To move the mission forward. Builders build. Now, if we think in the world today, I don't think there's a greater builder in the world today than Elon Musk, right? Seems like he's got the Midas touch. Everything he touches turns to gold. But the reason he's like that is because he has a builder mindset. He's there to build great things, right? He's got this kind of an engineering mindset and a leadership mindset where he's building for a greater purpose. And he's obviously the most wealthy man that's ever lived. Then there's the consumers. Now, consumers consume. They live to purchase. They live to consume. They live to veg out on Netflix. They live to veg out on social media. They go to work not to build. They go to work to get a paycheck. They get that paycheck. And by the time they get that paycheck, most of that paycheck's already spent because they spend all their waking hours thinking about, what am I going to buy, right? Whatever it is, clothes, vacations, vehicle, all of these types of things. Now, what's interesting, when I was in the construction trade, I had a guy who had a very successful business here. And he told me, because there's a lot of turnover in the construction trade, and he said, one of the best things you can do if you want to get a foreman or you want to get one of your guys to stay committed to you is encourage him to buy a brand new truck. And what he was getting at here is a lot of people are consumers, and the only thing that will keep them locked into a job is a paycheck, right? Or is a large car payment, because they get that payment or they get that paycheck, and immediately it goes to that payment. And then that payment keeps them locked in. That fear of that $500, $700, $1,000 payment keeps them locked in day to day, coming to work and putting in the hours. And he's getting at this idea that our culture is really built off of consumerism, right? Many of us lack an internal motivation to be builders. And sometimes the only thing that can get us out of bed in the morning is the fear of missing a payment, the fear of the repo man coming and taking that truck away from us. And so we have been kind of indoctrinated in this society to be consumers. And so there's a large swath of the population that they only exist to consume things. They go to church just like baby birds, right? With their mouth open just to consume. They have no thought of being there to feed and to receive sustenance from the word of God in order to build myself up, in order to build up my family, in order to build up my church, in order to build up society. They're not there as builders. They're there merely as consumers. And so they're takers, right? If they go to a Christian community or a men's group, they're going to sit there and just, what's in it for me, right? Do I enjoy this? Are the people that I like here? They're not thinking about building others up. And our society's filled with these people. And it's kind of one of the negative traits of the boomers, right? They've worked their life. They've received their income. They've got a good retirement. And now they're kind of cashing in their checks, and they only think about themselves. They only think about the vacations they want to take, how much golf they can play, get by in the RV and travel in the country. They don't think about the next generation. They don't think about pouring into their children, continuing to pour into their children, helping their children build businesses and build lasting legacies to take the family name and that legacy to the next generation. And we don't want to be like that. We don't want to be just consumers. And then lastly, the last group of people are the destroyers. These people ruin everything, and they destroy businesses. They're terrible to work with. They do bad work. They destroy churches. They destroy families. Usually they're so selfish and immature that they're just thinking about the moment, and they're just there to get whatever they can from whoever they can, and they tear things down. Now, when you look at this as a society, honestly, our educational system has been building destroyers for a long time. You go off into college and you learn everything you hate about America, everything you hate about our forefathers and the founders of our country. And they're taught just to tear things down. They're taught to tear down statues. They're taught to riot in the streets. They're taught to protest everything. And they can't build anything, and they can only tear things down. Now, that's obviously a recipe for destruction. No society can last with that many destroyers. And so what we want to do at Sacred Men, and we want to be as Christian men, is we want to be builders. Men that build things that last a lifetime and that last on into the generations. So I'm 46 right now, and I have an 18-year-old son who's about to be 19. And I'm spending a lot of time thinking about helping him build a business, helping him find the niche that he can succeed in and multiply not only, his wealth, but a generational wealth, right? That can go on into the future. And one of the things I was thinking about, I'm reading a couple books right now on AI, and it's pretty concerning, right? The future of our economy as it becomes kind of an AI economy. And one of the guys I'm reading basically said all of the middle managers, all of the paper pushers, all of the guys that basically are consumers, they just go to work to consume. AI is going to replace them. Now, AI is not going to replace the craftsmen, the tradesmen. And so I think we need to be encouraging young men to go into the trades, but you go into the trades not to be a consumer. You go into the trades to be a builder, to build something that lasts, to provide value for other people, build a great home, whatever it is, whatever trade you want to go into, and then build a lasting legacy that potentially you could pass on to your children. But this book is basically saying that all of those middle manager, paper pusher type of jobs are going to be replaced by AI. But the men who become, in his term, butt kickers, right? That wasn't quite his term. That's his edited term, butt kickers. Men that, and in my words, men that are builders, men that know how to develop other people. They know how to develop themselves. They add value to whatever room they're in. They're not there to take. They're there to build and to give. Those people are going to get filthy rich, is what he says, in this AI economy, because they're going to get a bunch of butt kickers around them, guys that want to get things done and build. They're going to use AI and technology to the best of their ability to do all the stuff that a consumeristic type of worker would typically do. And AI is going to be much cheaper than hiring those people. And then they're going to implement processes that can keep this system going. And those guys are going to make a lot of money, and they're going to be really successful. And so as Christian entrepreneurs and as Christian men, I think we need to be thinking in these lines. We want to be builders, and we want to avoid destroyers, right? Now we don't choose who's in our family. We don't choose who our neighbors are, but it's been said that you will become basically just like the 5 men that you spend most of your time with, right? The 5 people you spend most of your time with, that's who you're going to become. So we want to surround ourselves in a tight circle with men who are builders, right? That's the kind of men we want to become. And so we want to do our best to surround ourselves with men like that. And that's what we're trying to do at Sacred Men. That's what we're trying to do at Sacred City Church. We want to surround ourselves with builders, and we want to move guys that are consumers. We want to move them from being consumeristic into this builder mindset. And that's what I want to leave you with today. I'm trying to keep this video a little bit shorter, is the power of a mindset, right? We've talked before at Sacred City about our identity. Like, who are we? Who do we think we are, right? And it's important that we have a mindset, no matter if I've been consumeristic in my past, no matter if I've been a destroyer in my past, that when we meet Christ and Christ changes our identity, gives us this new identity, that we're now a new creation in Christ, and that now we have to put on the mind of Christ. It's important that our mindset changes, that we start looking at ourselves as a builder, right? As a disciple of Jesus who's out here to make more disciples and renew the world for the glory of God, that we're here to build things that last for the kingdom of God. And this mindset can really change the way you see everything. It's like these glasses. If these glasses were tinted a certain color, everything I would see would be tinted with that color. Well, having a builder mindset is like that. Every room you go into, when you get home from work, you're seeing your home through the mindset of a builder. I'm here to add value. I'm here to love my wife, to lead my wife, to love my children and disciple my children. When I sit down at the dinner table, I'm not just there just to gobble it all up as fast as I possibly can, but I'm there to disciple my kids. And so we're going to pray and we're going to sing a hymn, and maybe we're going to read something out of the Bible or a devotional book. And I'm there to add value to my family, because I'm wanting this builder mindset to not just stay with me. I'm wanting it to be passed down to my children, right? And so I don't want to just raise consumeristic kids. So I want to teach my children that you are all a part of this family, and we need your labor. Like, we need your effort. We need your devotion. So all my kids, they have a chore. My 4-year-old unloads the silverware every night. And to be honest, she's one of the best at it. Immediately we get done with dinner, she runs to the dishwasher, pulls out the silverware, puts them on the counter, and starts putting them away without even being asked. And what I'm trying to do is create a builder mentality into my kids. You're not just consumers, right? You're not just here to receive from mom and dad and then take it all for granted. You're a vital member of this family, and we're all going to provide value to this family. And that's how families succeed. So at the beginning of this year, man, 2026, I'm praying that you would embrace this builder mindset. Every room you would step into at work, you're there to add value. You're not there to take a paycheck and just push some buttons or type some emails. You're there to add value. How can you add value to the people around you? How can you add value to your boss above you? How can you, people that are below you, how can you add value there and pull them up? People that know how to add value to an organization, they move up, they succeed, right? If you're in what you consider a brainless job, you're a manual laborer. You need to go into that job thinking, how can I add value? I remember one situation on a job site that I was on, and I was just the cut man. I was probably 19, maybe 20 years old. I was just the cut man, but I was there to learn how to be a builder, right? That's how I saw my job. I wasn't there just to cut boards and carry lumber. I was there to learn how to do the job of the foreman. I wanted his job, right? And I remember one day, they all went off for lunch, and I was broke. And so I had my peanut butter and jelly sandwich in my lunchbox. I sat down, I ate it. I ate that thing in probably 7-8 minutes. And I knew my job. I knew what I needed to do. So I ate in 7-8 minutes. I got up and I went back to work. And when I was out there cutting and working and they all pulled up, I heard the foreman say, "Oh, somebody wants a raise." And I was sitting there thinking, heck yes, I do. Actually, I want your job, and I'm going to outwork everybody on this job site. And one day I'm going to have your job. And a year later, I did have his job. And it was, and that's just because I was there not to collect a paycheck. I had the mindset of a builder. I want to move up. I want to add value. I want to build something great. And I want to be that type of man. And so I think it would be good for all of us to begin to see ourselves that way. I'm a builder. I'm here to learn a trade. I'm here to learn how to be a leader. I'm here to learn how to be a better man. I'm not just here to take a paycheck and then sit on the couch and consume like a lemming, like everybody else. So many people in our society, right? If you learn how to be a builder, you're going to be successful in this new economy. You're going to be successful in the future, right? AI will never replace builders. So that's the thought I wanted to start our year off with this year, guys. And if you've got any thoughts, put them in the comments below. I'm going to kind of build out this theme over the rest of the year. This idea of builders, consumers, and destroyers, right? So thank you guys for a great year in 2025. I look forward to what God's going to do in us and through us in 2026. I will talk to you soon. God bless.